All his life, Cain was a hapless boy, though he didn't want to be. Trouble found him in the queerest places. On the playground at school, larger boys shoved him on the ground. At home, he sat up in his room and buried his face in a book, like Aragon or something by John Green, while downstairs his parents screamed at each other and shattered plates against the wall. Even in the shower, where he felt safest and the most at peace, he would sometimes be doubled over in pain, hands over his face, while his temples pounded and blood rushed to his head and made him dizzy. These chronic migraines, from which Cain suffered almost exclusively in the shower, one day became so extreme that he sat in the tub and let the water beat against his neck and back as he sobbed. His mother, Janine, heard his sobbing, however, and knocked on the door. "Is everything okay in there?" she asked. "Yes, Ma," Cain said, even though he compared the pain he was experiencing to the evil boys at school poking him with pins, a hurt they inflicted on him almost daily. "Okay. Hurry up, okay? You'll be late for school." "I know, Ma. I'm hurrying. Everything's okay." But Cain knew better. He knew he was in for an entire day of pain that hurt not only his head, but in the pit of his stomach, too. He tried to concentrate, to make the pain go away, and for a second, the pain actually faded. But then the shower head burst off the pipe and struck the wall. The projectile missed him by an inch. Scared to tell his mother what had just happened, Cain scrambled to screw the head back onto the shower. But the threads in the metal had been destroyed such that, no matter how many times he turned it, the head fell as soon as he let it go. If he was being perfectly honest, Cain was not so much afraid of his mother as he was of his father. He dreaded, more than anything, the licks he was sure to receive over his father's knee for breaking something, even potentially expensive. Memories of his father's black leather belt tracing arcs through the air and connecting with his bottom flitted past his eyes like a flip book. He felt queasy. He took the shower head with him and snuck out of the bathroom. He dressed for school, faded blue jeans, a gray t-shirt, and black and white tennis shoes. In the mirror, he mussed his blonde mop, getting it to stick up in that intentionally messy look his friends liked. When he finished, he threw the shower head under his bed and went downstairs for breakfast. He could smell eggs and bacon, and his stomach growled. In the first hour of his English 1 class, the migraine returned. The pain, more intense this time, took bites out of his skull and stirred his brains like oatmeal. "I want to go home," he thought while the teacher at the front of the class droned on about Romeo and Juliet. Christina, a freckled redhead who sat beside him, tossed him a note. The bald paper read, "Tommy thinks you look stupid." Cain, used to this sort of baiting from his peers, simply shoved the paper off his desk so that it dropped to the floor. When he did that, his migraine played a high C in his brain, and the bulb in the lamp on the teacher's desk exploded. Christina and a few other girls shrieked. Mr. White put his hands up. "It's okay, everyone. No need to worry. It's just a bulb." But the children in the class were not listening to his comforts. In fact, they were looking directly through him at the red expo marker floating in the air. The cap popped off, then, in a hand not unlike Cain's own, wrote "Run" in long, squeaky strokes down the length of the board. Pandemonium struck. The kids inside the classroom all got up and bolted out the door, pushing past Mr. White to do so. Cain, however, remained seated. Unlike the other children, the sight of the marker calmed him, and watching its incorporeal movements was more effective than a dose of Tylenol at soothing his headache. More than ever before, Cain felt in control. The kids caused such a fuss that the office let the whole class go home early. Coming home to an empty house, Cain hurried inside and immediately started playing video games. Before long, The episode in the classroom became an afterthought in the back of his head. What mattered to him was getting a kill streak in Call of Duty without his mother, or worse, his father, being home to ruin it. But just as Kane got comfortable, his mother came home from work early. She poked her head in his bedroom and asked, "Why are you home so early?" "They let us out." "I see." She swallowed hard, and the way she played with her hands told Kane that she was nervous. "Well, it's best not to worry your father with it, okay? He wouldn't like to hear about you missing school, especially today." "Okay, Ma, but why today?" "Oh," she searched for the right words. "Well, sweetie, your father was laid off today." "He was fired?" "Well, not exactly, but basically." "I should stay upstairs, shouldn't I?" She nodded. "You should." "Okay," Kane said, and returned to his game. His father came home drunk. He made the house smell sour and spicy as soon as he walked in. The first thing he did was slam his fist on the kitchen counter and yell, "I have a day like today, and dinner's not even done? How worthless are you?" "Honey, please." "No! Aren't I supposed to be the king or something?" From upstairs, under his comforter, Kane listened, and anger swelled inside of him. With it came the throbbing in his temples, and before long, things in his bedroom began to move. Pencils leapt off the edge of his desk like jumping beans. Posters peeled off the wall and folded in on themselves. His cat, Snickers, poked his head into the door, did a quick sweep of the room, then meowed before bolting downstairs. Everything in the room seemed to vibrate, down to the motes of dust between the carpet fibers. And every time his father screamed at his mother, Kane's anger grew, and with it strengthened the pain, as well as the room's vibrations. "I hate you," Kane said under his breath. His temples throbbed like a drumbeat. "I hate you. I hate you. I hate you." Downstairs, the fighting continued. Kane heard the sound of skin on skin, a sound he knew well, and his mother's screams. "You!" his father cried. "You little!" "No!" Kane shouted, and his bedroom imploded. Hangings shot off the walls. His bed jumped 3 feet into the air and launched him off of it. He landed face down at the exact moment his bookshelf came crashing to the floor. Windows in the hallway and downstairs either cracked or shattered. The small crystals hooked onto the chandelier in the foyers all popped like popcorn. But more importantly was that the fighting stopped completely. Both his father and mother had fallen silent mid-sentence. When Kane stopped screaming, he realized his mother was not speaking. "Mom?" he called. Silence. "Mom?" he said with more urgency as he pawed the ground and crawled to the top of the stairs. "Mom?" The only response was Snickers mewling. "Dad?" Not a single sound or utterance. Kane stood up, shivering all over. He took a deep breath and took the stairs slowly, one at a time. He called for both his mother and father with every step, and every time he received nothing in reply. "Please," he thought, "please no." Although Kane never asked to be such an unfortunate boy, it was a weight he bore all the way down the stairs and into the kitchen, where he collapsed in a heap on the linoleum and cried.